This title wasn't written, it was delivered. It didn't emerge from inspiration, but from instruction. It did not rise out of imagination, but from intercession. Heaven did not suggest this moment to you. Heaven orchestrated this moment for you. This is not simply a message. This is a spiritual intervention. You are not watching this by mistake. You have been spiritually intercepted. Within the divine rhythm of time, heaven has marked this hour, a precise window where what was concealed in your bloodline will begin to rise to the surface. It is not simply a secret. It is a seed buried long ago, intentionally covered, intentionally silenced, intentionally misnamed. But the voice of heaven has declared, the covering must now be lifted. There is a reason you've been feeling unsettled. There is a reason faces once familiar now feel foreign. There is a reason your sleep has been invaded, your peace disturbed, your thoughts stirred without warning. You have sensed a shift. You have felt a presence. And you are right. A presence had been drawing near to you, not to harm you, but to alert you. Not to frighten you, but to prepare you. You have ancestors whose mouths were bound by shame and survival. You have angels who have watched as this family code remained locked for generations. But within this hour, the code is breaking. This message carries with it the vibration of divine timing. It's not just about what happened. It's about what was hidden. It's about what you were never told but always felt. A sacred disturbance has been sanctioned. And Archangel Michael has now been released to speak because you are the one chosen to hear it. Type 777 if you receive this message. The heavens confirm. Within the next 7 days, the veil begins to lift. The hour is marked. The moment is now. You're not imagining this. That chill down your spine, that pause in your breath, that moment of inexplicable knowing, you're not imagining any of it. There is a reason you were led here, summoned to this exact moment, drawn by an invisible hand. Heaven does not operate in confusion. Heaven does not orchestrate accidents. This message is not a curiosity. It is a command. I, Archangel Michael, speak now, not with metaphor, but with divine momentum. I have been dispatched to deliver what others dared not whisper. What was once sealed in silence is now being wrapped in sound. Your spirit has been called into this dimension of truth, not just to listen, but to remember. This is your divine interruption. You were never supposed to scroll past this. You were never meant to ignore this frequency. The moment your spirit came near it, something deep within you quickened, because your name is written into this message. You have been spiritually intercepted, not as punishment, but as permission. Permission to witness what others tried to erase. Permission to see through the veil. Permission to stop playing a role in a story that was built on someone else's silence. This is not just a message. This is a summons. The heavens have opened a prophetic window, and within this hour, you are being pulled into it, not as a bystander, but as an heir. You are the one destined to receive what your bloodline refused to face. Understand this. I do not appear without reason. My sword does not leave its sheath unless there is war in the spirit realm. And right now, there is war over your memory, war over your identity, war over what you were never supposed to find out. But now that hour has arrived. This is your sacred moment of collision, where the truth meets the timeline. The countdown has already begun. The vibration of exposure is in the air. You felt the tension in your body, the urgency in your soul, the pull on your mind. Heaven has been speaking through dreams, through disturbances, through divine repetition. And now, heaven speaks through me. This message is not entertainment. is evidence. You've asked for a sign. This is the sign. You've asked for confirmation. This is the confirmation. You've been begging for release. This is the release. When you felt alone, it wasn't abandonment, it was alignment. You had to be separated so the sacred could find you. Because what is about to be revealed isn't meant for a crowd, it's meant for the called. You are not here by accident. You are not hearing this by mistake. You were summoned to this moment. You were chosen to carry what others dropped. And what you carry will break chains in both directions, backward and forward, through your bloodline. This is your sacred interruption, your divine moment of unmasking. And I, Archangel Michael, have come to bear witness with you, not just to you. I have come to affirm that your spirit has not been lying. You were not paranoid. You were not imagining the shift in energies, the shift in glances, the shift in unspoken tensions. This is the hour of heaven's alignment, and nothing hidden can stay buried. The divine clock is ticking, and you, beloved one, have just stepped into your appointed hour. Type 333 if your spirit is awake to this call. Within 3 days, a divine confirmation will appear through a name, a number, or a dream. The heavens are speaking. You are listening. There is something you need to know, and you already feel it, don't you? A disturbance that's never in a name, a weight that pressed against your light, a silence that never felt quite silent. You've been trying to make peace with something that kept taking pieces of you. And now, beloved, the veil is lifting. What you thought was confusion was never confusion. It was calculation. What you dismissed as overthinking was, in truth, intuition. You were being drained. You were being watched. You were being spiritually rerouted by a presence that cloaked itself in care but carried intentions of control. It may have looked like a parent, a sibling, a cousin, a trusted elder. It may have spoken words that sounded like love but dripped with envy. It may have claimed to protect you but subtly imprisoned you. And now, the heavens expose it. The interference was never random. It was a spirit of sabotage wearing a familiar face. A face that smiled while secretly studying your light. A voice that comforted while quietly mimicking your gifts. They weren't just present in your life. They were planted. A seed of spiritual misalignment that fed off your rising while pretending to cheer for you. But I tell you now, with the authority of heaven, the mask is dissolving. You weren't crazy for sensing the shift. You weren't weak for feeling the drain. The atmosphere didn't lie. Every time you stepped into clarity, they stepped into performance. Every time you got close to breakthrough, they pulled you into distraction. There was a design behind the delay. And yes, I said design. Because sabotage doesn't always shout. It whispers. It pretends to protect but positions itself to observe and redirect. It what you're awakening with a quiet pad. Because deep down, they knew. Once you saw clearly, you would no longer be accessible. And now you see it. You see how your joy made them nervous. You see how your pain was their opportunity. You see how they spiritualized their jealousy. I was just concerned, they said. I only wanted what's best for you, they insisted. But your soul knew better. Your soul knows better. Because even love has a vibration, and theirs never matched the frequency of your divine calling. A tension in the room. A sudden withdrawal. The subtle jabs hidden in casual conversation. That was the spirit revealing itself. Heaven allowed you to feel what they worked hard to conceal. But this is not your breaking, this is your breaking away. Their access has expired. Your assignment has failed. What was once hidden has now been seen. And now that you see, You are no longer under it. You are above it. The truth was never meant to break you. It was meant to build you. The betrayal you endured was never meant to define you. It was meant to divinely expose what could not remain in your next season. You were not weak for trusting. You were anointed for outgrowing. I say to you now, stand tall in what you now know. Don't look away from what your spirit confirms. Don't try to re-explain what heaven has already revealed. This is your moment of emancipation. This is the season of divine distancing. And I, Archangel Michael, declare, you are being removed from the reach of every hidden saboteur who used love as a mask and loyalty as a weapon. The sword of truth has been drawn, and no lie can remain in its path. Blessing ritual. Type 444 if this part of the message confirms what your soul already knew. Within 4 days, expect a shift in relationship dynamics. Heaven is cutting cords you were too loyal to release. You didn't imagine the signs. You didn't fabricate the symbols. You didn't make up the patterns that kept finding their way back into your awareness. Those numbers, those names, those dreams, those odd interruptions in your routine, they were never coincidence. They were confirmation. Every time you looked at the clock and saw 1:11, 3:30, 3:55, every time you felt the burn in your hands without touching fire, every time you woke suddenly at 3:33 in the morning and felt like something or someone was present, that wasn't restlessness. That was revelation. Your angels have been trying to reach you, and now heaven is confirming it. You were not crazy. You were being called. The butterfly that landed near you 3 days in a row. The cat that stared and wouldn't move. The bird that flew into the window as if to warn you. The dream where the water was rising, the fire was burning, the door wouldn't open, where the hallway stretched too long. Those were not dreams. Those were spiritual visitations encoded in vision. You have been walking through signs for months. Some of them scared you. Some of them confused you. Some of them you shrugged off. But heaven speaks in layers. And now that your eyes are open, every moment you ignored has come back into view with new understanding. Those chills. That sudden exhaustion. That flash of a name in your mind you hadn't heard in years. You were being warned, gently but consistently. The glass that cracked without explanation. The light bulb that flickered when you were alone. The object you couldn't find but later found somewhere strange. The repetitive dreams with shadowy faces or family arguments. These were the echoes of something trying to rise. Not to torment you but to teach you. You were being trained to listen beyond language. To pay attention to what didn't fit. To remember that in the kingdom of spirit, nothing is ever random. Heaven hath been dispatching messengers into your physical space. The natural was reacting to the supernatural, trying to jolt your memory and sharpen your discernment. And perhaps the most painful sign of all, the sudden coldness from someone close. A subtle turning away. A shift in tone. A gut feeling that someone's smile wasn't real anymore. These weren't your insecurities. These were your insights. You weren't misjudging. You were seeing clearly. You were feeling the spiritual temperature shift around someone who had been hiding in plain sight. Heaven was trying to prepare you, not for loss, but for liberation. And now you have your confirmation. The signs you were shown were sacred invitations to step into truth. And the more you listen now, the more you'll begin to realize they've been guiding you all along. I, Archangel Michael, tell you this now. You were never ignored by heaven. You were being sensitized. You were being brought back into alignment with the voice of the unseen. And your willingness to listen is unlocking your restoration. You not dismiss what you see next. You not minimize what you feel. Do not apologize for knowing what you know. Heaven is validating your vision. This is not paranoia. This is prophecy unfolding before your eyes. Thank you for being part of our growing faith community. If our videos uplift and bless you, consider supporting our mission through subscribing my channel. Your generosity helps us share God's word with more hearts around the world. Type 111 if you recognize the signs heaven had been sending. Within one day, a prophetic image or symbol will confirm your spiritual alignment. Pay attention. The Spirit is speaking again. You are not waiting for the truth anymore. The truth is already moving toward you. The unmasking has begun. You may not have heard the confession yet, but it's coming. You may not have seen the message, the email, the accidental slip, the misplaced item that holds the answer, but I tell you now, it is already in motion. Heaven has sounded the call, and the spirit of concealment that once protected their secrets is now crumbling under divine weight. Something is about to give way. Something is about to fall apart so something real can rise in its place. And when it happens, do not be alarmed. Do not intervene. Do not rush to fix what God is untying. Your job now is not to react. It is to remain in position. Because heaven is not waiting on you to act. Heaven is acting for you. The exposure will not be dramatic. It may not come in front of a crowd. It may not be loud. It may come in a whisper, a quiet slip of the tongue, a document you were never meant to see, a sudden emotion that overtakes someone you never suspected. The mask is falling, and when it does, you will know not just who they are, but who you've always been in their presence. The uncomfortable moments of silence, the shift in their voice when you spoke of your dreams, the way they subtly dismissed your success, it will all make sense. Because what you were dealing with was never just personal, it was spiritual. This isn't happening to embarrass you, it's happening to empower you. Heaven will not humiliate you in this process. You will be upheld. You will be protected. You will be vindicated. There will be those who try to deny it. There will be those who try to gaslight the truth, to rewrite the history, to manipulate your memory, but they are already too late. The vibration of exposure cannot be reversed. The light has been turned on. And once light enters a room, darkness cannot stay hidden. This is not revenge. This is realignment. I, Archangel Michael, assure you, the hand of God is behind this unveiling. This is not about pettiness or punishment. It is about prophetic order. What has been hidden in your family, in your environment, in your emotional history, can no longer continue without consequence. The divine court has ruled in your favor. The energy has shifted. The truth is no longer a prisoner. He is a warrior. And it is fighting for you now. You don't need to chase the truth. It is already coming. You don't need to prove what your spirit knows. The proof will come. You don't need to search for revenge. Divine justice is already unfolding. And when it happens, breathe. Don't panic. Don't over-explain. Don't retreat into guilt. Instead, watch. Watch with clarity. Watch with spiritual eyes. Watch with confidence that what heaven starts, heaven finishes. What heaven reveals, heaven heals. And what heaven unearths, heaven will restore. You are not losing control. You are gaining spiritual dominion. This is your moment of detachment from lies, illusions, and generational roles that were never yours to carry. The mask is falling, and in its place, the mirror rises. You will not only see them, you will finally see yourself clearly. Not as they named you, not as they needed you to be, but as heaven always intended you to become. This is your rising season. and nothing hidden can hold you any longer. I 555 if you are ready to witness the unveiling. Within 5 days, heaven will place undeniable truth before you, through voice, vision, or vessel. Prepare. A mask is falling. Let's speak plainly now. Let's speak soul to soul. You have felt the weight of something withheld. You felt the ache of delay, the silent grief of almost, the heartbreak of nearly. And you've asked yourself in private, over and over again, why hasn't it come? You've watched others receive while you've waited. You've watched doors open for those who doubted God, while you kept the faith, and still, the silence remained. But I tell you now, with the authority of heaven, you were not denied. You were being protected. What felt like loss was heaven's way of guarding what you could not yet see. What felt like punishment was preservation. There were blessings assigned to your name that had to be hidden for a season, not because you were unworthy, but because the space around you was unready. There were people in your atmosphere who would have contaminated what was sacred. There were connections that would have drained the fruit before it even had time to ripen. There were rooms where your light would have been stolen and worn like a costume. And heaven said, "Not this time." So the delay came, not to destroy your hope, but to deepen it. Not to break your faith, but to build it into something unshakable. You didn't lose time. You gained clarity. You didn't miss the moment. The moment is becoming you. I know it hurt. I know you cried silently after encouraging everyone else. I know you smiled while holding back storms. I know you served and poured, only to feel forgotten. And yet, you didn't turn bitter. You didn't stop praying. You didn't curse the process. And because of that faithfulness, because of that private endurance, because of that obedience when no one was watching, heaven is moving everything back into alignment. What was delayed is now returning with interest. What was stolen is now being recovered with favor. What was taken is now being replaced with something sacred and secured. This is why the warfare intensified before every breakthrough. This is why the enemy attacked your confidence, your timing, your self-worth. He saw what was coming. He saw the weight of your calling. He saw the inheritance tied to your name. And he tried to sabotage it before you ever touched it. But the attempt failed. You're still here. You're still standing. You're still aligned with God's plan. And because of that, you are about to receive not just what was delayed, but what was divinely multiplied. Hear me now. The emotional cost, the financial strain, the fractured relationships, the loss of peace, it was never in vain. Every tear you cried is now being converted into testimony. Every delay you endured is now transforming into delivery. You were not being ignored. You were being preserved. The wait was not a punishment. It was a sacred recalibration. And now, because you endured, because you trusted, because you kept your heart open when you had every reason to shut it, heaven is responding. The cycle is breaking. The restoration is beginning. So stop mourning what didn't happen yet. Stop grieving a door that was never meant for you. What is coming is not a second chance. It is a sacred alignment. And when it arrives, you will understand why it had to take this long, why the timing had to be divine, why the route had to be different, and why the pain had to be permitted. Because now, your spirit is not just ready to receive, it's ready to retain. And that, beloved, is what separates a moment from a miracle. Type 888 if you're ready to reclaim what was delayed. Within 8 days, an unexpected blessing will arrive as a sign that what was withheld is being released. The drought is ending. The rain is coming. And now, breathe. Can you feel it? that pressure on your chest loosening, that fog in your mind beginning to clear, that silent inner trembling beginning to still. You are stepping into something sacred now. This isn't the chaos of collapse. This is the calm of completion. The warfare is losing its grip. The attachments are weakening. The vibrations that once kept you tethered to confusion, chaos, and emotional captivity are dissolving. You're not going crazy. You're finally getting free. This shift won't be loud. It will be sacred. You won't need to scream, to prove, to post, or to explain. You'll simply feel a peace where anxiety used to live. You'll notice that you're no longer craving the people who drained you. You'll realize that you're no longer waiting on an apology, an explanation, or even validation. This is the sign of breakthrough, not the return of the old, but the release of the hold it had on you. What used to trigger you now sounds distant. What used to distract you now feels irrelevant. This is healing. This is ascension. This is alignment. There may be silence now from people who once overwhelmed your energy. Let it be. Do not chase the silence. Do not investigate the distance. This is heaven clearing the room so the divine upgrade can install. You cannot carry a sacred assignment in the noise of spiritual clutter. And now, beloved, you are entering the phase where God is no longer just removing, He is now rebuilding. Your mind is being rewired. Your emotions are recalibrating. Your spiritual gifts are amplifying. And this time, the environment will match the elevation. You'll begin to dream again, but differently. Not just about survival, but about sovereignty. You'll make plans again, but not out of fear of missing out, rather from a sense of divine readiness. You'll speak again, but with words that carry authority, not anxiety. You are no longer reacting to pain. You are responding to purpose. And that, beloved, is what breakthrough really is. It's not just something that happens to you. It's something that unfolds within you. Widely, steadily, undeniably. Tears may come. Let them. They are not weakness, they are release. Moments of fatigue may follow, let them. Your nervous system is adjusting to the absence of chaos. You've been spiritually detoxing. You've been energetically separating. And now the spirit is filling the space that fear once occupied. You are stepping into divine stillness. A stillness that doesn't mean nothing is happening. It means everything is finally aligning. The people who used to drain you will not be able to find your frequency anymore. The patterns that used to sabotage you will begin to collapse before they complete. Why? Because you are no longer available for spiritual harm. This is your internal exodus. The chains were not just external. They lived in thoughts, reactions, impulses, and beliefs passed down through generations. But you have interrupted the pattern. You have disrupted the energy. And now the shift is not just emotional. It is ancestral, generational, eternal. The curse has been confronted. The energy hath been reversed. And the blessing is breaking through. I, Archangel Michael, declare, you are no longer bound by what you were born into. You have stepped into what you were born for. And this shift, though subtle, will echo through every dimension of your life. Your aura will change. Your speech will shift. Your spirit will blow. Because you are not the same. You never will be again. Type 999 if you feel the breakthrough stirring inside you. Within 9 days, you will experience a sign of energetic release. Through tears, dreams, or a sudden unexplainable peace. The shift is already happening. Now that your breakthrough has begun, there is one final gate. One last flicker of old energy that will try to return, not to bless you, but to bind you. This is the test before your full liberation. It will not come dressed as darkness. It will come clothed in charm. It will not knock violently, it will whisper. The saboteur, the manipulator, the energy that once drained your soul may try to resurface, but it will look different this time. It will sound softer, sweeter, more apologetic. It will pretend to have changed. But do not be deceived. This is not their transformation. It is their desperation. They'll say they miss you. They'll say they've grown. They'll say they didn't realize how much you meant to them. But heaven says, this is not your reconciliation. It is your final recognition. Recognition of a cycle that you've outgrown. Recognition of a manipulation pattern that has expired. Recognition of how far you've come and how far you'll fall if you go back. They may not mean harm in their conscious mind, but their spirit is still entangled with the old assignments. They do not carry what is meant for your new season. And this is not your moment to console the past. It is your command to complete it. Silence will be your weapon. Discernment will be your guide. Don't explain why you're unavailable. Don't debate what heaven has already confirmed. The enemy is crafty. He won't bring them back loud, he'll send them soft. As a comfort, as a need, as a moment of confusion. But you are no longer their source. You are no longer their host. You are no longer their home. And if you let them back in, even for a moment, they'll plant seeds of delay again. This isn't fair, it's for why. I know it's tempting. I know the emotional hook still tugs. I know nostalgia has a sweet voice. But let me remind you, they were not your peace. They were your pattern. And your spirit, your future, your calling cannot survive under that pattern again. When you feel that pull, breathe. Remember what you just came through. Remember how long it took to see clearly. Remember the nights you begged heaven for release. And then remember, this is the moment heaven warned you about. The enemy doesn't fight what isn't rising. He's trying one last time. Don't open the door. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to grieve the version of them you hope for, grieve it. But do not re-enter what God has already exited. You are not cold, you are called. You are not heartless, you are heaven-backed. You are not cruel, you are clearing space for what's real. And real love does not have to return disguised. Real peace does not require persuasion. Real alignment will not ask you to shrink or forget. I, Archangel Michael, sound this final trumpet before your liberation. Be wise in this moment. This is not about hate, it's about healing. And some healing requires you to walk away in silence, without closure, without a final word, because the closure already happened in the spirit long before the flesh got up. Don't mistake the test for the blessing. The counterfeit always comes before the crown. Stand firm now. You are one gate away from total freedom. One choice away from entering the version of life that heaven has preserved with your name engraved upon it. Let the old knock, but do not answer. Thank you for walking this sacred path with us. If these messages speak to your soul, help us continue to pour light and truth across the world. Support the channel through super thanks, super chat, super stickers or memberships. Your contribution helps this divine work expand to those who need it most. Thank you for being part of this sacred mission. At 666 if you're prepared to pass the final test. Within 6 hours or 6 days, the test may appear. Be vigilant. Heaven is watching. Silence is your shield. Discernment is your sword. Now the veil has been lifted. Now the truth has stood in your presence without trembling. Now the secrets that once loomed in shadows have been forced into the light of divine order. You have seen the saboteur. You have felt the shift. You have crossed the threshold of truth, and there is no return to ignorance. You are not broken. You are blessed. You are not confused. You are confirmed. You are not behind. You are being positioned. And I, Archangel Michael, declare, the revelation has been completed, and now the restoration begins. You have witnessed the unmasking. You have passed through the sacred silence. You have endured the separation. You have obeyed without applause. And now, heaven's decree stands over your life. The energy is cleared. The cycle is broken. The past no longer has a hold on your future. There is a divine stillness entering your soul now. A reset in your bloodline. Rewriting in your emotional DNA. You were never just healing for yourself. You were standing in the gap for those who never had the strength to leave the pattern. And heaven honors you for that. The storm was sent to test you, but the storm became your altar. The delays were sent to destroy you, but the delays became your training. The secrets were buried to bind you, but they became the very fuel for your freedom. You have proven faithful. You have proven ready. You have been chosen not just to survive, but to build. And now, the gates are opening. The way is clearing. The energy is rising. The time is now. Declare it with your mouth. Seal it with your agreement. Speak these words aloud or within. I am aligned with heaven's order. I am released from every curse. I walk in divine restoration. My purpose is protected. My path is anointed. You are being crowned not with gold, but with clarity. Not with fame, but with favor. Not with noise, but with knowing. The pain served its purpose. The silence became sacred. And now, the shift will be sustained. You will no longer dream in survival. You will now build in alignment. You will no longer beg for peace. You will now embody it. This was your divine interruption. This was your moment of unveiling. This was the sacred hour heaven chose to give you back your sight. If this message was for you, type Amen followed by 111, 333, or 555, whichever number your spirit had been seeing. This final agreement signals to heaven that you receive the restoration, honor the revelation, and step fully into your divine inheritance. It is done. It is sealed. It is sacred.